1240 on your hometown station, KHTS. It's the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer.
Do it. Go there now. Go.
Wait, don't do it safely if you're in the car. But go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. Speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, he's Myles McNamara. He joins us in studio of Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Myles, what's happening?
Good morning, Kyle. Good morning, Tori. How are ya?
We're good. We're good. How are you? What's going on? What are we talking about today?
We're talking about home care. Well, there's a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
As our listeners may or may not know, I've had Comfort Keepers in Home Care for over 17 years here in Santa Clarita Valley, and what we are is a helping hand to our seniors who want to stay in their own home.
We're getting new listeners every day. You can't say it enough because with 98.1 FM, getting new listeners every single day.
The web is expanding.
Yeah.
But so we do in-home care. A lot of times people don't know what they don't know when they're looking for help for their parents, and they're thinking, oh, gosh, I told mom I'd never put her in a nursing home, or, I don't know what to do with dad, Maybe all they need is a comfort keeper. We are not nurses. We help with the activities of daily living. So our caregivers will come in and help with meal preparation, get in with their doctor's appointments, make sure they take their medications on time, whatever needs to be done. We almost take on the role as the adult child's chores so that we can be the caregiver and the adult child can be the son or daughter again, which is kind of cool. Because I hate it when I see adult children, and I come from experience because my mom had to do this as I was growing up, is the only time they get to see their mom or their dad is when they're rushing in between the lines of their own busy life to make sure mom or dad is eating well or taking their medications. And so they're running to the store to stock the cupboards. So they're not coming over and enjoying the father, son, mother, daughter, whatever relationship. They're jumping in there and doing all these chores. So we try to bring back the quality of life, not only for our seniors, but for family members who are bouncing around with their own, busy lives, trying to make sure that their aging loved ones are taken care of.
Sure, absolutely. And before you leave today, we will give out the phone number and the website. And also know any information that Myles talks about today. If you're in the car and you're riding around, you can't write something down, hometownstation.com, get to us and we'll get you there. Not a problem. So what do we have to do, Myles? What do we have to do?
Well, again, I did say at the top, a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. But I would have the talk with your parents before it becomes an issue. Be proactive. Don't be reactive. So ask everybody involved, what does that journey look like? As we all are going to age, what does that journey look like? Some seniors say, you know what, I want an assisted living facility, which are sometimes called a cruise ship on land. Or some may say, I want whatever it is. I may want to stay in my own home until the day I pass. Well, then what needs to be done to prepare for that? So have that talk. It's a journey. It's like we sit down with our kids and talk about where you're going to go to college and, what do you want to major in? And we're mapping that journey. Well, let's go to the other end of the timeline, and with our parents or grandparents or whoever the aging loved one is, let's talk about it before it becomes an issue. And
right.
That way
let's make it commonplace. Let's as common as talking about colleges, let's make this a thing we need to do and just part of the conversation.
But there's an ingredient that exists in talking with your parents that doesn't really exist with your kids, and that's guilt. Because as our parents get older and they may have an event that becomes where the result is them becoming cognitively impaired, or now they can't make a decision. And if you don't have anything on paper in either an advanced health care directive or an estate plan or some kind of map that we just talked about, now the kids are arguing with each other. Well, dad would have wanted this or mom would have wanted that. And there's all this conflict that's No, if you'd have just had the talk and just like kids going to college, ask mom and dad what they want to do as they age, and now there's no decisions to be made. It's all written out. It's been predetermined by the parents or grandparents in the Advanced Healthcare Directive and whatever they have that shows that map. So it takes all the guilt out, it takes all the gray area out, and stops the fighting between the family. And and I see it day in and day out, and it's heartbreaking. And now we're relegated to guessing what mom would have said or done here, or what dad would have wanted or said there. Is put it on paper, and have that talk. And I mentioned cognitively impaired. I want to touch on it real quick before we move on, is that because we're in the dog days of summer here. It's very hot, and a lot of times our seniors get very dehydrated. And although I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV once,
And he's not lying. He's not lying.
One of the
he was an actor.
reasons that we get a urinary tract infection is dehydration, and our seniors get dehydrated. A urinary tract infection is also referred to as a UTI. A lot of the symptoms of a UTI is confusion, disorientation. They're just out of it.
Really?
And it reminded me, knowing I was coming on today, I talked to a prospective client yesterday, and she was saying, yeah, I guess, mom's got dementia, and last week she was going to bingo and drive. I'm like, whoa, reel it in. I said, dementia doesn't hit you overnight. I said, so it's a very progressive disease. I said, so mom probably does not have any sort of dementia or Alzheimer's. Mom has a UTI. And she goes, oh my gosh, how'd you know that? She just got back from the hospital because she had a urinary tract infection. I said, didn't they tell you that some of those symptoms of that is confusion and disorient? Your mom does not have dementia. If she was driving and playing bingo last week, she will be doing that again. Get her on the right medication, get her hydrated, go back, talk to her doctor. But yes, we're more than happy to come in and help, as Comfort Keepers does. But don't be freaking out thinking your mom got dementia overnight, because it doesn't happen.
Very good information. Sometimes, doctors are busy. Hospitals, certainly nurses running in and out of the room. And sometimes they don't have the time, or they might not think that they need to explain this kind of information to you or the patient, or they may be coming in doing their rounds and you're not there.
Right.
So those questions, absolutely, someone like yourself or your professionals at Comfort Keepers can answer for them. Now, I know we have an event coming up. What's the event?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Put on by our senior center, and Comfort Keepers is proud to be a platinum sponsor for it, but it's an annual event that's very, very important. Family, let me preface it. Do I have a few minutes, or am I running out of time here?
You do. You have about a minute. Yeah.
Okay. A family caregiver is somebody who takes care of an aging loved one, just like we talked about, and they're unpaid. They're just thrown into that whole situation. And if you put a dollar figure on family caregivers that help their aging loved ones, it's in the billions with a B. So every year the senior center puts on. The event is actually called Knowledge is Power, Aging with Dignity. And just like Prince was formerly known as whatever he was, it was formerly known and still is the Caregiver Resource Day. What we have is an event every year that really shows everybody the resources they have right here in Santa Clarita, be it home care, be it hospice, home health, and a plethora of other services for seniors. But that family caregiver is thrust into that position, and they think they're on an island. They think there's nothing that can help them. So again, we'll call it Caregiver Resource Day, and it's Saturday, September 15th from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. At the Henry Mayo campus, right there on McBean Parkway. So if you have any questions, obviously you can contact me, which we'll get to in a minute, but you can also call the Senior Center directly, and that's 661-259-9444. Again, 661-259-9444. And there is a registration process, so we know how many people are coming. But guys, this is really important. I mean, caregivers, family caregivers, and thinking they have no help, and they're on an island, that's not true. So put September 15th on your calendar. It's the Caregiver Resource Day. Come out and see what resources are available. There's a lot of guest speakers. Obviously, there'll be people, who have their resources available at the sponsorship tables. But we have speakers coming in from UCLA, and they are going to be talking about, psychological approaches and really where the rubber meets the road when it comes to caring for somebody on your own as a family caregiver. So put that on your calendar, folks. It's Caregiver Resource Day. Knowledge is Power, Aging with Dignity. Saturday, September 15th at 9 a.m. Goes till 3:30 p.m. At Henry Mayo's campus. And any additional questions, call the Senior Center or myself or even KHTS, because I believe you guys are a generous media sponsor for that.
We've got the stuff on hometownstation.com. If they want to, if our listeners, new listeners, especially on the FM side, want to contact you and your organization for any kind of help or questions, what is that number?
Real simple as far as email, because they're probably driving, but Myles with a Y at comfortkeepers.com. Just shoot me an email. Our phone number is 661-287-4200. You could go to comfortkeepers.com. You could also go to seniorcaresantaclarita.com.
Basically anything. You can
send
Google
me up a
pretty
smoke
much.
signal, throw me a dart, whatever it is. But yeah, and obviously they can go through KHTS if they're driving and take any of that down. But Myles with a Y at comfortkeepers.com. Shoot me an email. Any questions or assistance I can provide, don't hesitate.
Absolutely, Myles. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.